So in this video I want to talk about a very special thing from my childhood, and I'm not sure if many people still remember these or even collected them back in the day, but I know I did. It was these toys called the Trash Pack by the company Moose, first released in, I believe, 2011. They were these little rubber characters that were all supposed to be really ugly or gross things. A lot of them were based on rotten foods and trash and just gross things. And they were kind of like blind bags. You would get them, they would be in these trash cans, or some of the containers were in other shapes that I'll get to later, but you would open up these trash cans and there would be these Trash Pack characters inside, and they were called Trashies. And the fun in collecting them was that there was multiple series that came out. Each series had its own special type of Trashies to get, and each series just had many different ones you could get that were just not special, but still you could collect them all. And there was a lot of different colors and types to collect, so it was really fun back in the day. So what I want to do is talk about the main 7 series of Trash Pack that came out, and then later I'll go into a face cam part where I'll actually show off my collection that I still have to this day. So the first series of Trash Pack, as I said, came out in 2011, and this is what the packaging and everything looks like. This is like a standard packaging you could get. It had this big trash can, and then 5 mini trash cans. Each mini trash can had 1 trashie inside, with the 2 on top already having them revealed, and the 3 on the bottom you could open them and see what you got. And then the big trash can, because this is a 12-pack, I guess that means it had 7 in it. And then this is what the back of the packaging looks like. It would always show you all you could get in the series with different rarities and different types. As you can see, a lot of them are just recolors, like this Scum Gum guy here. He's in orange, pink, and white. There might be another color that I'm missing, but if you'll look around, you'll just see it's a lot of reskins, but that was the fun in it. You could get different colors. Sorry about that. And then also each series had its own special type of trashies you could get. There's usually one section at the bottom, as you can see here, of the bin factions, and also just one series scattered throughout the entire chart. So the one at the bottom, the bin factions, I forget what their gimmick was, but each special type of trashy would always have its own gimmick. And then the other one here was the glow-in-the-dark ones, like this El Trasho guy here, and obviously they glowed in the dark. So the second series, instead of using the previous green trash cans, they just reskinned that model into an orange one to make it different, I guess. And then here's what the back looked like. This time, the special series on the bottom was the Astro Trash. Their gimmick, per se, was that they were metallic. I do have one of these, so I'll be able to show it off later, but the only special thing about them is that they were just shiny. And then also scattered throughout the other special type you could get from this series was Moldy Trash. These guys, they were essentially fuzzy, or as the series called them, moldy, but that essentially just meant that they had like hair on them. The ones I have, that effect kind of wore off over the years, so now they're just kind of smooth, sticky figures now, but they used to be furry, and it was pretty cool back then. The third series was released in 2012. This time the containers for them, instead of green or orange, was the same model, but this time it was blue. On the bottom, you can see the special type this time was Wall Crawler Movie Trash, and essentially their gimmick was that they were sticky, and if you put them on a wall, they would kind of roll down it because of their stickiness. And I do have one of these, and just like the other one I mentioned, it lost its effect too over the years, so it's not really sticky anymore. And then also the other special types you can see is these guys, which were color changing, so if you put them underwater, they would change colors, and unfortunately as well, I have some of those, and their effect kind of wore off too. The fourth series, which is my personal favorite, came out in 2012, but later in 2013 it came out in the US. The special series on the bottom this time was the Beach Trash. I never actually got any of these, but their gimmick was that they had these little sandy particles on them, so it felt like they were covered in sand. And there's also 2 other special types in this one, and they're both kind of cool. One of them, which was the mini ones, as you can see here, like this mucky ducky here. Obviously, they were just smaller than the normal trash packs, but I really liked these. But since the normal ones are like an inch already, The mini ones are so small that I actually lost the first one that I got, which is kind of sad because it was this grasshopper guy and I really liked it and I never found it, so that's sad. But I still have two of them, so I'll be able to show them off later, obviously. And then the other special type was these biting ones. They had these mouths and you could like open and close their mouths and make them cling onto stuff. I wasn't as much of a fan of those as the mini ones, but I still really liked this series. And it also changed up the whole packaging. Instead of the same old round trash can design, they changed it to a more squared off trash can design, like that style of trash can of wheels, and it was red this time. The fifth series came out in 2013, and it actually really changed up the whole packaging this time. It was the first one to not use a trash can at all. It actually used this yellow toilet design to hold the trashies, and on the bottom you can see the special type this time was scrap trash. I actually have no idea what their gimmick is because I never got one, but the other type was the frozen trash, which is one I really wish I got, but I didn't get that one either. It was just a bunch of mini trashies that were stuck inside of ice cubes, and obviously they weren't actually ice, it was just clear rubber, but it still looks pretty cool, and I kind of wish I got one, but again, I never did. I probably didn't get enough of this series to ever get one of the special ones, but yeah, I'll probably have to put up what the gimmick of those scrap trash guys is, because I really don't know. So the sixth series, which also came out in 2013, is called Rotten Eggs, and it was based around eggs and also prehistoric stuff for some reason. So the special type this time was hard-boiled trash, and as the name implies, they were hard because usually the trashies are made of soft rubber, but this time they were hard plastic, and that's probably my least favorite special type they ever did because it was just kind of dumb to me that they would make them hard instead of soft, because one of the fun things about them back in the day was that they were squishied, so to make them really hard was stupid. And then there's also the puke eggs here, which I did like this kind. I do have one of them. They're essentially very similar to the ice one from the last series, except instead of being trapped in ice, they're trapped in this green slime egg thing. And there's also these excavated trash. This doesn't really count as a special series, but it is just like a group of them that are kind of similar because they're all stuck in fossils or in rocks. It's not hard plastic like the hard-boiled ones, it's still soft. But again, that's not even really a special type of trashy, so I didn't really have to touch up on that one, but I did anyway. And also, like the last series, this series deviated from the trash can packaging design and used purple eggs instead. So the last series, the seventh series of Trash Pack, came out in 2014, and there were other little spin-off series that I didn't even talk about because I just wanted to talk about the main series because that was the only one I ever collected. But the seventh series of the main line was also just the last series overall. This is when Trash Pack unfortunately came to an end almost 10 years ago now, sadly. This series is called Junk Germs. It kind of focused on like sicknesses and viruses and that kind of stuff. And it actually had the most unique packaging yet. Instead of just trash cans or toilets or eggs, it used these test tubes, and unlike the other ones that only held one trash at a time, these test tubes held two in the packaging. The special types for this one were cold and flu color change, which I guess was kind of a nod back at Series 2 or 3 when they had the older color change ones, except this time, instead of their whole body changing color, it was just these little bumps on them that would change color to make it look like they're sick, I guess, because that was the theme of this one. And there's also the X-ray ones. I do have one of these, and I think it's pretty cool. Probably one of my favorite ones I have. All the X-ray ones are just see-through, and they have little, like, virus cells inside of them that you can see. But the cool thing about this series is that every single figure or trashy is actually see-through to an extent. Instead of just being, like, matte rubber solid color that you can't see through at all, it's kind of clear-ish. So that was kind of cool, but I think I only ever got one pack of this set. And now Trash Pack doesn't exist anymore, so you can't get it at stores, so that's a shame, but now I'm going to get into the face cam part and actually show off my collection so you can see some of this stuff more up close and personal. And by up close and personal, I mean through a screen. So I've pulled my collection out of the closet. This is a box I've had for a while. As you can see, it says 125 trash pack with an exclamation mark. I doubt there's that many left. I either increased it for that number or from that number, or decreased because I probably lost a few, or I didn't even count right. It's probably not that many, but I've pulled a few out that I want to show off. Well, first of all, yeah, that's what it looks like. If I tilted it anymore, they all would have fallen out. But first of all, this is a Series 1 trash can up close. You got the green one. Then you got the blue one from, I believe, Series 3. I had an orange one from Series 2, I think, but I don't know where it went. Here's the Series 4 red square trash can. The 5 toilet. And this is from a special set they did a couple of times. It was a silver big trash can and had slime in it. I lost the slime, and if I still had it, it would be disgusting now, so don't have that anymore. This turkey, yeah, it's just a turkey, but it's probably one of my favorite ones I have, so I felt like showing that one off. More importantly, I have gathered all of the special types that I have, including this, which is one of the glow-in-the-dark ones. It's a dumpling that glows in the dark, except not anymore, of course. This is one of those furry ones I was talking about, which is not furry anymore, but is probably one of my favorites that I have. I have a couple others of these special types, but I'm just showing one off of each. This is one of those wall crawling ones that's supposed to be sticky, but it's not sticky anymore. As you can tell, a lot of these special ones lost their effect, as I said earlier. Also, his eyes came off, probably because he's a different texture. This is one of those biting ones that you can open the mouth. I did my best to explain this earlier. I don't think I did a very good job at that, but this is what I meant. This is one of those hard ones that I hate. I used to have two, but for some reason I cut one in half with a knife. For some reason, it worked, so that was cool, but I lost it, and for some reason I kept the uglier one. The other one I had was a bird. This one's a really ugly fish. And as you can hear, it's hard. Meanwhile, normally they're like squishy. Then I've got this guy, which is one of those color-changing sickness ones, as well as one of the color-changing normal ones. And the weird thing is, I'm pretty sure normally his head is supposed to be yellow, and when it would change color underwater, it would turn blue, but now it's like stuck blue, and sometimes it goes back to normal underwater. I might try and show that off in another clip, unless this clip gets to be too long, then I just won't, but just know that they change color. Like, these are the normal ones, just parts of their body change color, and the sickness ones, these little bumps that he has, they're the only part that change color. This, which might be one of my favorite special types, is one of the mini ones. I have two of them, but as I said earlier, I lost that cricket that, if I still had it, would probably be my favorite one I have. But I like this fish guy, too. This is one of those Astro Trash, which was like the special set from the second series. I'm pretty sure these actually are fairly rare, but unfortunately mine broke. Its antenna fell off, but as you can see, it's metallic, so that's kind of cool. Honestly, this is probably the stupidest looking one in that whole series, but at least I have it, and it's probably the best one I ever got. This is one of those slime egg ones. I have a spider trapped inside of a slime egg. I like this series of them too, except I feel like the ice cube ones would have looked cooler, so I kind of wish I had those, as I said. And another one of my favorites, this hamster, which is one of the X-ray ones, and it has, I think it's supposed to be virus cells. To me, it usually just looks like gears. You can't really see it, but when I really thought about it while making this video, I guess it's supposed to be virus cells since it's from Series 7, which is based around sicknesses and stuff, but I really don't know. And the biggest problem with all of these is that they're all kind of losing their color and losing their effects and everything. A lot of the paint is chipping off and wearing away, which is kind of sad. So I try not to open this box too much because I fear that one day it's just not gonna work anymore. That didn't make sense. They're all not gonna have color anymore, is what I meant to say. So, yeah, how about I just pull an extra random one out? Wow, that's awesome. It's a bug with horns. Cool. I used to have the other containers, but I threw them out for some reason, including the purple egg, the test tube, and the orange trash can. But as I said, I got rid of them. Also, this is a notable one too, this little tire here. It came with one of the play sets because there was a couple play sets that they released, and I got 2 of them. I'm not even going to bother to show those off because that's a whole other thing, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the trash pack. This was one of my favorite toys to collect back in the day, and I still have pretty much my whole collection. And I just felt like showing it off and talking about it, so that's all. Also, since I've done 3 videos like this now, I'm probably going to call it something like Nostalgia Talk or Nostalgia Reviews, something silly like that, so I might start announcing it as that in future videos. But anyway, thanks for watching.